Hey, what's up guys? Jay Burton here, and today I'm bringing you the next part of my video series for 3v3 short guides. In this one I'm going to cover Turbo Cleave. Okay, so starting off, the healer. What is the best healer for Turbo Cleave? In my opinion, when you have a team composed of double melee DPS, you want a Holy Pally, by default, because of double Blessing of Freedoms, to help your melee DPS out. Now, a Holy Pally is not mandatory, it's just what I prefer to do. And then Holy Pallies are also great at surviving for a longer period of time without peels. It's harder to get peels from two melee DPS opposed to like a caster in a melee. You just gotta keep that in mind. But like a Resto Druid should work really well too with Turbo Cleave. Okay, so that's the healer portion. Not too in depth on detail because there's not a whole lot to talk about. Now the warrior. The warrior is the powerhouse comp in here, or the powerhouse class. He will be getting the kills, be doing all the damage. And then of course tossing out storm bolts to somebody else's CC. That's really the main role, just there to kill. Now, the shaman, the enhancement shaman. Why do we want an enhancement shaman with a warrior and a healer? Well, there's actually quite a bit of reasons. The first thing is purge. Enhancement shamans can cast purge a lot. So the warrior is DPSing on somebody, excuse me, and when he's bursting, you want them stripped of all their hots and buffs and shields. Because that means the warrior is just really going to go to town. Coupled with Mortal Strike, it's going to really hurt. And so Shaman's main goal is to just be purging. Okay, so we got purge. What else is there? Shamans have a thing called Maelstrom stacks, and when they get 5 stacks from doing melee attacks, you can either do a pretty decent hitting lightning bolt, or a pretty decent instant cast healing surge. This is important because a lot of times you'll be LOS from your healer, and your warrior is going to get DPS'd, and it's up to you to keep that warrior up. You can do that. You get some pretty decent procs from Healing Surge. Coupled with an okay Healing Stream Totem, it's not bad. Okay, what else do we have? Well, we have something really important for a warrior, and that's protection against CCs. What do I mean? Well, we have Wind Shear, Grounding Totem, and Tremor Totem, and Windwalk Totem. All 4 need to be used with the warrior to ensure that, like, when he's bursting, he is uninterruptible. So we can stop polymorphs, spheres, cyclones, hexes, and then of course we can get him out of roots. And if he does get feared, we can drop Return Totem to break the fear. Warriors can break fears normally, but not all the time. So once again, this is really important. And that's why people really want a shaman to go with the warrior. Because when the warrior pops his burst, which is pretty early on a healer, you'll be able to strip the healer of all their buffs, hots, and shields, making them naked to his wrath. And then of course the enemy, they're going to want to CC that warrior, because the healer will die. So you have lots of protection with totems and wind shear. And then of course you have a decent burst yourself with Ascendance. You ignore the target's armor, and you have a ranged attack. And then we can't forget the fact that there will be 2 melee DPS sitting on a healer, between Pummel and a very short cooldown Wind Shear, and then your guys' stuns between Capacitor Totem, Warrior Stormbolt, Warrior Sphere. You guys have a lot of ways to keep interrupting heals, aside from also purging him. This comp is what makes healers freaking scared. I honestly feel like if you're playing Turbo Cleave, you really just need a herp derp on a healer. Unless it's a Resto Druid, in which case, do hard switches to somebody who doesn't have hots. Or if you find out the Resto Druid uses Displacer Beast, and he has no way of getting away, that's a great time to switch to him and wreck him. A comp this is good against is RMD. This comp does really well against that powerhouse comp, RMD. Why? Well, RMD is full of all 3 players being squishy. They're all super squishy classes. They rely on chain CC. They have to get the chain CC off. This comp is amazing at stopping the chain CC. Between the Shaman's defensive totems, Wind Shears, Warrior's Spell Reflect, and of course his interrupts through stuns like Charge if you take that interrupt, Stormbolt, and then the Paladin, if he gets polymorphed, he can still have Blessing of Sacrifice up to stop it. He'll have 2 of those charges. There's just so much this comp can do. And RMD, if played correctly, should not stand a chance against Turbo Cleave. Now, some comps that can do well against this one, I don't know. I think it really just depends on a player's skill. But I think a double melee comp can actually do well against this. Because the Enhancement Shaman really benefits versing casters. That's the main thing, versing casters. So I think Walking Dead or TSG can actually counter this comp a lot better if they focus the Shaman. But it's still an overall amazing comp, especially since right now RMD is one of the most common comps you'll verse. It's such a powerhouse comp. Alright guys, well that's all I wanted to talk about in this short guide for Turbo Cleave. If you did enjoy the guide, please hit that subscribe button, and I will be working on more of these videos. Coming up next will be RMD. Yeah, I'm going to do RMD next. Alright guys, take care.